Okay, let's get started. Thank you everyone for showing up. So what we want to talk about in today's session, basically how you can prepare yourself and market yourself better for the current job market. That's the main goal of our session today. We are offering these based on, so we have a company like technology company TechFin Special. So we part of that actually we organize Tech Career Club. We are offering these free career resources from this Tech Career Club. Anything, any guys have any questions before we get started? And all the information in this workshop is confidential. So if you please do not share without explicit permission from the Tech Career Club. So what we will talk about today. So at first you will meet our team. So who are running this Tech Career Club. So we have total 5 members and you will meet a few of them. And then we'll talk about what you will learn. What are the challenges in current job market? That's really important. We'll talk about how you can update your resume in a way so that it's more marketable and you get more attraction from the hiring managers or recruiter. We'll talk about the interview process, how you can be prepared for the interview. What are the things the recruiter or hiring manager looks for when you are doing the interview. We'll talk about how you can improve your chances for job search and networking. We also talk about the timeline for preparation. So what is the timeline it takes typically to actually start from finish? So these are part the actually workshop part we'll talk about. And then from our Tech Career Club, we also offer premium coaching and also like group coaching. So if you want to learn more, just stay around after these workshops. So just to learn a little bit more. We'll talk about the service and pricing. But yeah, you can leave actually after seventh step. And yeah, if you stick around at the end, you can get some bonus code like coupon code actually to reduce your pricing too. So let's get started. So from our Take Career Club, if day life in a weekly, we run weekly sessions. So you will meet these 3 people most of the time if you join the weekly session. So I'm the founder, Emran Chowdhury. You will also see Masood and also Monirul. So we'll do the introduction when we go to the slide. So what about me? My name is Emran. I'm working as principal software engineer at Oracle. I rejoined Oracle 4 months back, but I used to work at Oracle before during the pandemic. I have almost 13 years of experience in the software industry, working mainly in the backend, API implementation, cloud application, machine learning. Previously I worked at Microsoft and Amazon, and Microsoft for 5 years and Amazon for 2 years. I mentored hundreds plus software engineers and also helped them land job in most of the top tech companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta. And outside of my tech background, I'm an entrepreneur. Also, I'm an investor. Entrepreneurship, actually, I do business almost 20 years. So entrepreneurship and all these things actually comes naturally to me. Yeah, that's about me. Let's go to Masood. You want to introduce yourself or maybe you can go from there.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for confirming. Yeah, my name is Mir Al Masood. Our friends also call me Masood. I'm delighted to be here today. To talk about me, over past several years, I have worked in the intersection of product lifecycle management, if you know what that is, data migration, and artificial intelligence. I have led complex enterprise projects that bridge like engineering and data science. I live in the intersection of AI and industrial automation, things like that. I worked in Siemens PLM software, in building their Nastran solver, their Siemens Teamcenter product. And currently I'm working in Southern California, Edison, from Tata Consultancy Services as a consultant, where we build computer vision products. That's about me.
Yeah, thanks for the intro. Yep. So for Masood, so yeah, he's working on the data science field. So one of our wing area in data science. So we help data scientists to actually to land jobs. So can you just give me a one-liner about what is the data science field looks like in this 2025 or overall actually what is heading? Maybe 1 or 2-liner.
If you want a one-liner, I will say it is very challenging, but full of opportunities. That is the one-liner. But if you want a second line, then I will also add like adapt quickly and learn continuously. I think that is the two basic essence in if you want to be in data science, you have to adapt. Otherwise, if you are stuck with your current skill set, next year you will be an ex-employee.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. Okay, let's move on to Monirul. He is one of our instructor. He also get coaching from our mentorship. So, yep, go ahead, Monir.
Hi everyone and good morning. I am Munirul. Uh, I am actually working as a product line engineer at election systems and software. So I recently landed my job. I actually started working from September, so I'm very fresh new here. In the summer, I also did one cybersecurity internship, and I am also pursuing my master's in the cybersecurity. And right now, I'm more dedicated to like product cycle life, like enhancing the product life cycle and all the necessary things related to that part. Yeah, looking forward to work with all of you. Thank you.
And can you give me maybe one or two liner about the job market, current job market, so that people
Uh,
knows better? Yep.
I would say that due to tariff, it's now really competitive because companies are really cautious about hiring new candidates. So you have to be on right place with right skill set. So keep learning, keep adapting to new skill sets.
Okay, thank you. So
Mhm.
yeah, the main thing actually, the tech industry. So yeah, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you also saw my last couple of days post. Like the industry is changing rapidly, and then if you are not sure how to adapt in those areas, it's really hard to be like always on top of your toes, right? So yeah, you will figure it out everything if you are really good engineer. That's what good engineer do. And then but yeah, if you get mentorship, that might be helpful. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So what you will talk about, right? So we'll talk about the resume, we'll talk about interview process, and also the job search. And I'm still sharing, right? So you guys can see my screen, the slide. Okay, okay, sounds good. So, yep, let's talk about a couple of challenges, right? So, what are the challenges you guys have right now? So, I was looking into some of the like layoff.fyi and also other sites like TrueUp.io layoffs. So, what is happening actually last um, this 2025, right? So, you will see I did pull up some of the data, right? So, you see actually 88,000 tech people are laid off, right, from 199 companies. And from DOS, it was actually 67,000, right? And if you look into the companies list who are laying off, so those are making actually a lot of changes in the AI field. Microsoft is the first position, right? And then the main problem is that what I see based on my understanding that there is a lot of like expectation from the employer and also the employee. So there is a not like correct matchup what they are looking for. And most of the companies, they are not exactly sure how the AI will reshape their software industry, because most of the companies are like they want to move to AI, but they are not sure actually how to use the existing employee to build more robust workforce, right? And at the same time, those are 88,000 people are laid off. But think about if you look into the job market, you will see almost 237,000 opening. So what is the problem, right? So they are laying off people. People are looking for job. When I talk to a lot of people in LinkedIn and other job search researchers or colleagues, they're saying, oh, they are not landing a job. But I say, okay, so there are more than 200K job available, and then why can't you land a job? Because maybe there is a misalignment what you are looking for and what company are looking for. So that's what we'll cover in this workshop today. Few of the challenging. So for this free career workshop, almost 50 people signed up, 51 people to be exact. And I do a like look into the data of actually what people were looking for when they sign up, right? So you filled up something like when you signed up, how long have you been actually looking for job? What is the field, right? So it's a little bit interesting for 51 of you whoever signed up this free career event. You see this pie chart. more than 22%, that means almost 1/5, right? They are looking for job more than 6 months, which is unusual because you should not be looking for job more than 6 months. Typically, if you want to land on a job, like typically it takes 3 to 6 months on a, so if you are in the right track, right? And you see almost 1 to 3 months is 28%. So if I just add these two up, almost 50%. So almost 50% of the people who are looking for job like 6 months and 1 to 3 months, right? And there are 16% also 3 to 6 months they are looking for job. So typically 22 plus 16 is 48, close to 50% who don't have job more than 3 months. And which field are you in? So that's interesting because this slide, it seems like that almost 50% are looking for the backend. In the last meeting, what I did it last month, when we did it in September, it was 1/3 backend engineer, 1/3 data scientist. But interestingly, in this session, seems like actually 50% of them are backend engineer who are looking for job. And the other, there are a couple of mix of backend engineer, data science, or front-end engineer. And only data science is 10% in today's session. That's interesting. And then there one more thing. I did some research about the median salary. So if you are looking for job like data science or software engineering field, the median salary entry level position, not like experienced entry level position, the salary is 72,000 to 84,000, basically 6 to 7,000 per month. And then we have total 51 persons. So what I did actually, I did a little bit of math. I did actually what is the lost amount of salary of this group, whoever signed up for this session. Seems like total salary was 675K, which is 13,000, almost 13,500 per person. And basically, if you don't have a job, you are losing 6,000, around 6,500 per month without a job if you are in the market. And that's the give you the context. So what is the main reason? So why people are looking for job, and at the same time why the company can't find the better suitable candidate what they are looking for? The main reason I see, based on my 13 years of experience in this industry, what I see that people are not sure how to market themselves. They have the skill set, they have the right attitude, they have know their software engineering, data science background, they know actually how to write an algorithm, how to implement an algorithm, how to make it efficient, those kind of scenario. The main thing I always see that actually there is a misalignment. Whatever they skill they have, they can't show it to the employer what they're looking for, right? And on the other side, employer also looking for like good candidate, right? So they get 500 application if they post a job in 24 hours, but when they go through the resume, they see that, oh, 400, 450 people applied in this job, but they are not really qualified, right? So let's talk about a few of the things. When you write your resume, there are a few things you shouldn't include. That's based on my understanding, based on my experience. It doesn't need to be like one-to-one mapping with your current skill set, but I would share my side of the story, what works for us, what works for our mentees, what get help in last few years. And but yeah, feel free to try it out the other way. Sometimes actually it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I will share my side of the story. So when you are writing resume, do not include like picture sensitive personal information that could be basis for discrimination, right? People will write that actually what is their country of origin, so they want to include their picture, right? So sometimes it works, but it's better not to actually include there, because when you are including that, you are basically the company gets actually cautious, right? Because actually when as soon as you are including those information which are basis for discrimination, now the company can't take a chance with you, right? Because now they can't say that actually they called you for interview based on those information or not, right? So it's safe side for them actually just to disregard the resume. Some people write long CV. I would say for rule of thumb is write one page of resume for if you have less than 5 years of experience. If you have more than five, try to go to the second page. If you are writing more than two-page resume for industry related job like software engineering or like data science or anything related to AI machine learning, you are wasting your time, and you are also wasting the other people's time who is reviewing your resume. I can give you an example. I was interviewing one candidate who has 21 pages resume, and he has 20 years of experience, but he could not able to pass the interview. And did I read 21 pages of resume of his before the interview? No. What I did actually, I went to the first paragraph, I read the last paragraph with 21st page. So I don't have time to read 21 page, right? I have 1 hour interview. I typically look into his resume for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm not going to look into 21 pages of resume for him to figure out what he did in last 20 years, right? When you're writing resume, don't try to become fancy or write 2 or 3 column format, because if you write 2 or 3 column format, it's really hard ATS, applicant tracking system, to extract your information, because now actually it doesn't know where the columns start, where the columns stop. And some people try to include their awards, extracurricular activities, language proficiency. It helps if you are applying for the job where it's relevant. If it's not relevant, you don't need to include it. And sometimes I see actually there is a typos or grammatical errors, which is a huge no-no, because if you have a typo in your resume, most likely you are saying that, oh, this is my last 20-25 years of experience from my like early school to this part, and then you don't have time to fix the typo in your resume. That means you are not a good fit for the employee. If I review the resume, I find a typo, most likely I will discard the resume, because I want to find someone, if I want to give some work and then he has a typo which might cost millions of dollars for the company. Just think about it. If you have a typo in your code, what will happen actually? And it happened a long time, it happened. And typically what happens, the recruiter spends 30 seconds in your resume to figure out, is it a good worth of their time to look into your resume in full. If you can't impress the recruiter in 30 seconds, most likely you will not go to the next step. That means shortlist your resume. Let's talk about what you should include in your resume. The few things. So this is the screenshot of my resume, current resume, in the left side. So you should include your full name, your location, where you are located, because some company hire based on like hybrid or based on actually on-campus location, right? So they want to know where you are currently located. Some people want to hide their location, which is not a good idea, because they will do a background check. Any good company will do a background check, and if your resume doesn't match what you mentioned in the background check, most likely you will not get the offer. They will rescind your offer. Contact number, LinkedIn or GitHub URL if you want to show up your actually showcase your talent. Profile and summary, basically one paragraph of summary where you can clearly explain why you are the best candidate. They need to talk to you. If you can't clearly explain why you are the best candidate, most likely they have 500 more other candidates who can go into and look into their resume. When you are writing skill section, try to include relevant skill set. I see a lot of people write 20, 25, 30 skill set in the skill section. Only feedback I have for those people who are writing 30 skills, are you good at your 30th skill as good as your first skill? If your first skill is Java and then your last skill is, for example, maybe Microsoft Access or Microsoft PowerPoint, or maybe Docker, Kubernetes. I see a lot of Docker, Kubernetes, like JavaScript, right? If you are good at it, if your first skill is good, as good as your 30th skills, okay, put it there. But if I ask you anything like Docker, that actually how Docker networking work, how actually do you know Docker command? If you can't write 5 Docker commands and you write Docker in your resume, you are basically hurting your chances, right? Because if you write something and people ask about that specific skills and you can't answer that, what will happen? They will think that whatever you wrote in your resume, those are all fake. Those are actually not reasonable what you mentioned in your resume. Then try to write employment section where you want to focus on 3 things in each of the job in the project. So what did you do? What was your personal accomplishment? So in the personal accomplishment, you want to focus on actually what you did, not your team did. Did you implement an API? Did you actually build a website? Did you actually improve the runtime complexity, reduce the space-time complexity, any sort of technical thing? And finally, you want to write something, some sort of measurable metric. How does it help the company to make money? If you are a new graduate, I get asked this question a lot, that if I'm a new graduate, I didn't work on a company before. Focus on whatever project you are building. Can you quantify that? Can you figure out actually why you are working on this project? If you can't say why are you working on this project, most likely what will happen that you won't have any idea when you get the job what is your prioritization. If you are given task for 3 or 4 projects, how will you prioritize? You will prioritize based on the company, based on the company product, based on actually company financial. And finally, some sort of relevant degree and then certification if it's relevant. I see a lot of people write a resume and they try to include a lot of certification. But if you are applying for, just give you an example, if you're applying for Frontend and if you have a like backend certification, it doesn't help if you have a database skill, right? Yeah, if you're applying for position where you need that, obviously include that one. So let's talk about what are the few things when recruiter reviews your resume. At first I said, right, that actually they have 30 seconds to convince them so that actually they want to spend extra time in your resume. So obviously they will look into your name, the first part of this part, and also look into your summary. These are the first things. And then in the second, when if you are good, that actually convince them actually to spend extra time in your resume. Now they will spend extra 2 to 5 minutes. When they spend extra 2 to 5 minutes in your resume, they want to get few questions answered. What are the questions they are looking for? They are looking for why they should hire you. Because if they posted a job and there are 500 applicants, they need to figure out, they can't talk to 500 people. They can talk to maybe 5 to 10 people, 10 people at max, right? So you need to convince them actually why they should hire you, right? If you can't convince them, most likely they won't actually spend more time in your resume. Do you have relevant skills to become successful? If you're applying for backend software engineering position, do you have relevant skills? If you're applying for front end, do you know JavaScript, TypeScript, any sort of those kind of thing? If you're applying for machine learning or AI position or data scientist position, did you have relevant degree? Did you work on those kind of projects before? And finally, how much value you bring to the table for the company. If you can't bring value to the company, most likely they wouldn't hire you. And this is a really important part, right? So, for example, for one job, the expected salary range is, for example, $100,000, right? So if you can bring value for the company 200,000, they don't have any problem to give you $100,000. But one funny thing, right? So even for like fresh graduate position, the salary range widely like fluctuate, right? So starting from 60,000, I saw anywhere from like even for Microsoft entry level position, they give you like 120, 130,000 per year. But if you go to regular company, typically get 60. My first salary was actually $60,000. It is 12 years back, right? But when I got job in Microsoft, that was around 140,000. So you see, actually, there's a lot of difference, right? So why the company wants to pay you more? Because you didn't just doing in first company you were working 40 hours. Why they want to pay you double of the money if you actually working still 40, 50 hours? You are not working 80 hours per week, right? So basically, how much value you bring. If you make company more money, they want to give you more money. If you can't help them to make money, if you don't know how to help them grow, most likely they wouldn't. They want to give you the salary of the lower end of that range. So why I'm sharing my resume? Because that resume helped me land interviews most of the tech companies like Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, all the tech companies. And then using this resume, typical, my resume evolved a little bit more over the years. But even for this resume, using this resume, I got offer from Microsoft 2 times, Amazon 2 times, Oracle 2 times, and then I got also offer like Citibank, Technology Engineers 2 times, and I got more like one time offer like 2012 to 2015, almost 20 other different companies. So I'm sharing because it works. And yeah, obviously the other format also might work, but you need to test it yourself, right? If it works or not. Any question about the resume before we get into like the Q&A part? But yeah, so if you have any questions in the resume part, we can spend a couple of minutes and go to the next part. Okay, I guess that's no. So let's move on to the interview part. So when you are interviewing for a company, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. So what is the step looks like? If you are applying for software engineering, any field of software engineering, basically there will be an introductory call. There will be some sort of like technical interview. Then you will go into the full on-site loop interview. And there are a few things when you are in the introductory call, what they want to know about. So let's go back to right. So first, so just understand the whole process, right? So the first process, you are applying online, right? You have 30 seconds to convince a recruiter to spend more time on your resume. That's your first step. So you need to do the step by step, right? So write in your resume so that you can convince a recruiter in 30 seconds, they spend extra time. Now the next time, now they are spending 5 minutes in your resume. Now your resume should include relevant information so that in 5 minutes they get all the information what they need. Now, what is the next step? Next step is actually they want to schedule a call with you. Most likely talk to a recruiter, or sometimes some company wants to set up a call with the hiring manager just to understand what is your previous experience looks like. So next step, obviously, how you can get a call. And when you get the call, so we are already in a third step. In the third step, we'll do the introductory call. When you are doing introductory call with the recruiter or hiring managers, research about the job posting and the company products. What are the products they are working on? What job postings look for? And go into more detail actually about those skill set. What are the preferred qualification? What are the regular qualification they are looking for? And obviously prepare for why are you interested in this position, because I see a lot of people when I ask them. So I interview a lot of people in Oracle. I obviously one of my question obviously just to icebreaker is actually why are you interested in this position. Some people don't have any idea why they applied for this position. Some people don't know what we are looking for, because I work on like security assured network gateway. We build networking product, and then they don't know actually what is networking. They don't know actually what we work on. And when I talk to them, sometimes they feel like they didn't even look into the job description of what we are looking for. Because if you can't clearly tell me why you are the person I should hire you, then who in the world would tell me that information? There is no one, right? And if I ask you, oh, why are you interested in this position? Oh, my friend worked in this company. Or maybe I heard Oracle built a lot of good product. But there is a difference between you applied for OCI and Oracle. Oracle built maybe good database product, but you applied for OCI, right? So you need to understand what your team is doing. So do those research before this call. If you don't do that, most likely after the first call, you will not hear back from the recruiter. When you go into more detail, like technical interview, technical screening, so typically most of the companies after the recruiter call, they schedule 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour, just to understand can they put you to the full on-site loop, because full on-site loop is typically 4 to 5 hours. And they schedule it with so many people, right? 5 different people, 5 different teams most of the time. And in this fourth step, when you have a technical screening interview, they want to figure out that actually is it worth of their time to schedule 5 hours of that company, right? Because you'll be scheduled with other people's too. So in the technical screening, they want to focus on, do you have necessary skills? Can you code if you are applying for like software engineering role? If you are applying for data science role, do you have basic understanding about data science? What are the pipeline looks like, data pipeline? What did you work on? What are the machine learning model you are most comfortable with? And they might ask you some sort of like common machine learning model, right? So they want to know actually what is your previous experience looks like, those kind of things. In the technical interview, when you actually go into like more full on-site loop, there will be at least 2 technical interview. There will be at least 1 system design interview. There will be at least 1 behavioral interview. So on a high level, if you are a fresh graduate, most likely you have at least 2 technical interview, 1 system design, 1 behavioral. But it depends on the experience level, because in my level, if we hire principal engineer or like consulting member, we tend to set up like 2 system design interview. And sometimes we actually schedule 2 behavioral interview, because if you are applying for like more senior level positions, we already know you are good at coding. If you are not good at coding, most likely you will not be into that step. And when you are good at coding, then you need to be also be comfortable answering all the system design questions. So when you are going for technical coding round, what they are looking for? They are looking for, do you have actually good understanding about computer science fundamentals? Do you know your data structure and algorithms? Can you solve a coding problem? So as I was giving an example, right? So we interview people who has 20 years of experience, but if he can't solve coding problem in 30 minutes, most likely we wouldn't hire him. Maybe he has like a lot of opportunities in other field, but software engineering field, it's not like be good place to be in, right? Because your day-to-day life will be coding. Your day-to-day life is working on software, right? So if you can't code, most likely you will not get the job. Let's talk about system design. So what they are looking for in the system design interview. In the system design interview, basically, can you design a scalable cloud applications like a microservice architecture? If you can't, maybe you are not there yet to be going to like senior level position. Maybe for internship, like fresh graduate, they don't need any, if that position doesn't require anything, you will work on small projects, then you might not need that much exposure to the system design. But if you're applying for like mid-level to senior level positions, you need to have a very good understanding about system design. And yeah, for data science, can you design a machine learning application, including all the steps? What are the different steps you should focus on? What are the things? So for example, yeah, obviously how to collect your data in data science, right? And how to use those data to make it like better train and test mode of those data. What are the application steps you want to collect those features from each of the machine learning model? Those are the things they will ask. Now let's talk about behavioral part. So most of the companies, if they want to hire you, they want to focus on that, are you good at to work with? Because you might be the best coder in the world, but if you are not easy to work with, if you don't know how to work in a professional environment, if you get irritated, frustrated very quickly, most of the people don't want to work with you, right? Because that's an interesting observation I see when I talk to a lot of like fresh graduate. Because when I talk to fresh graduate, I see that people think that, oh, I am doing a degree in computer science, machine learning, data science. I have a degree. Why don't I get a job? Because even if you have the degree, the company, whoever they hired, they have all of them either have the degree or the best in their world. But in day-to-day life, you will work with other people, right? So you will spend at least 8 hours in the office. You will talk to the people. You will go to the meeting. You will need to know actually how to talk to your manager, supervisor, or maybe leadership team like VP, right? If you don't know how to work in a professional environment, if you don't know what to talk about, right? So if you can't clearly communicate your feelings or maybe the job description or actually project you are working on in a short, concise format, they wouldn't want to work with you. So the main reason for this behavioral interview, just to understand how do you work in a day-to-day life. The easy way to practice this one, so you can Google about like Amazon leadership principle. They have 16 leadership principle, and you can go to their site and then figure out what are the projects you want to talk about. And you need to prepare really well for the behavior. Most of the technical people I see, they don't have any problem with like technical or system design because they did it in school, right? So if they are good student at school, they actually did their coding, they did their system design themselves. Most likely they will pass all of them 1, 2, 3, right? But they will fail. Most of them will fail in the behavioral part because you need to change your mentality too in the professional environment. If you are not clearly communicate in the professional environment, they most likely wouldn't want to extend the offer. And to prepare that one, you can use like STAR method, like situation, task, action, and result, and where you can work on different criteria, how you can talk about different things. And yeah, if you have any question, I can go into the detail when we go to the Q&A part. So when you are interviewing for like technical positions, so okay, is there any questions? So I'll take a break, 1 minute breather. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
I have a quick question regarding the behavioral part. Like, should I wait for the later part of the Q&A part, or can I go?
It's up to you. So in behavioral, yeah, we can go in the Q&A part too.
Okay, I'll wait for the Q&A part.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
So yep, let's talk technical. So when you have asked a coding question, so what are the things you should do? So I compiled this list based on my interview, like 13 years of experience, right? So what are the things? People also said, oh, I was lucky I get the job, but that's not true because when I was looking for a job, it took me almost 6 months to get my first offer. And in those 6 months, I actually did a lot of trial and error, figure out what works, what doesn't work. If I fail in the interview, why did I fail? And then I created this checklist, right? So last few years, last 4, 5 years, if I go to interview, I just mentally do this step. If someone asks me a coding questions, and even for the like like technical screening interview, what I used to do, I write in, print it in a paper, I put it in front of the computer, right? So follow this checklist, right? So if someone asks you a question, rephrase the question, what they are asking for. If they're asking for, oh, can you invert a binary tree? Obviously, the first question, why do you need the invert of a binary tree? What is the use case? If you don't know, most likely you will get stuck. Next step, ask clarifying questions. Ask enough questions to understand what actual problem they are trying to solve. Maybe something like one example I always give something like, oh, can you sort a number? Can you sort like hundreds of integers? Obviously, first question, what are those numbers, right? So basically, if you know all the algorithm, like the sorting, you can do like bubble sort, insertion sort, order n square. But if you can use quick sort or mart sort, order n log n. But even for quick sort and mart sort, there is some tricky thing, right? In mart sort, you don't need extra storage. In quick sort, in mart sort you will need extra storage. Quick sort you don't need it, but in quick sort it can become like order n square in the worst case. The average case is order n log n. But just asking this question, you would actually figure out what they are trying to solve. Because if you ask enough, okay, just someone asks, oh, I want you to sort 100 numbers, right? So what are these numbers? Maybe the answer is something like, oh, these are the number of ages of these nursing home facilities. I want to sort those numbers based on actually how old are they, right? I want to sort in a descending order, right? Because who are the oldest person in the nursing home, right? Now, your problem set is just one question. Your problem set actually solve in a very interesting way, because now you can just ask them what is the oldest people in this nursing home. They say, oh, our oldest people is 105 years old. And actually the age cannot be less than 0, right? So that range of numbers, the nursing home, it can be maximum 1 to 105, right? Now you go into more detail, you ask another question. Oh, it's a nursing home facilities people. Okay, so what is the criteria to get into this nursing home? They said, oh, only 55 plus above people can get into nursing home. Now you just ask question, he said, oh, that's interesting. My minimum number is 55, my maximum number is 105. I need to sort this number. You can do bucket sort, order n time. And you can use like bucket for like one at a time, and you will solve totally different problem. And just some people might say, oh, I want you to sort a number, minimum number is negative max integer level to the maximum integer level. Now you can't use bucket sort, right? Because when you use bucket sort, then actually it will take a lot of space. So yeah, asking this question. Next step, write test cases. At least write 3 input and output test cases. What are the text input? What are the output would look like? If you ask this question, write these test cases. You can test your solution using this test method. Next, try to find a brute force solution in 3 minutes. If you can't solve a problem in 3 minutes, most dumbest way, that means you want to solve it as brute force as possible. Can you solve it? Oh, if I want to give you 100 number, can you sort it by pen and paper? If you don't have any how to do it in pen and paper to sort it, you can't write a code. You memorize the code, but that will not help you to get the offer. If you want to get an offer, you need to basically understanding how your brute force method works. And some people will ask me that, oh, do I need to find a brute force solution in 3 minutes? Because but company is not looking for brute force. But I will ask you another question. If you can't find a brute force solution for a problem in 3 minutes, most likely you are not worth of a candidate to hire for. Because some people are so complex, you need to find a way, brute force method in 3 minutes. Next, how can you optimize it? If you can find a solution, try to optimize it. And 90% of the time, it will be something like based on those, I gave you an example, right? That some clever trick, right? Actually, what are the input size? What are the like size limitation? Is there anything I can use about the data structure, right? And 10% of the time, basically something like about specific trick about the programming language. Are you using Python or Java or C++? Because there are some other special neat trick which you can use based on your preferred language. Thinking out loud, talk with your interviewer. So try to give enough context. What are you thinking? What are you trying to do? So some people, what they do actually, they ask a question. They may be thinking in their head. They are not talking for 15 minutes. Then now they start writing code, right? So this is a huge red flag. If you don't talk what you are thinking, interviewer can't get into your mind to figure out actually what you are looking for or what are you trying to do, right? I had a lot of experience when I get an offer, but I could not able to solve the problem. But what I did actually, I was going through the step by step. Oh, I'm trying this, it doesn't work. I'm trying this, it doesn't work. And if I'm in the wrong foot, they will say, oh, you are trying the wrong way. So if you share it loudly, most likely you will get enough feedback to correct your path. Write clean code in your preferred language. If you are an expert in Python, Java, or anything, so try to write clean code in your preferred language where you know all the data structure and libraries. So I get asked this question about lot actually, should I use Python or Java, right? So if you know everything in Java, right, try to write in Java or C or C++, whatever your preferred language is. But don't try to impress interviewer because you know only one trick in Java or Python and you want to impress the interviewer. That doesn't go well because they will ask something that, oh, you use this one, do you know the time complexity, and you get stuck, you can't answer, or you give a wrong answer. That will not help you. When you write the code, try to test your code, basically what you wrote in the step 3 steps, input and output. Focus on actually how to test your code, and if you find a bug, fix those bug. And figure out when you are fixing the bug, focus on actually you are not adding more bugs. So some people get nervous, they want to find a bug, try to fix it, and then add another bug, right? So think about the root cause, what happened for this bug, and then can I fix it without adding more problem? And when you are done, let the interviewer know. So that's how actually the checklist I use for technical interview. So yep, these are the one step. So I will talk about few things, the how you can actually do job search and networking. So few key things. Right now, most of the people, if they want to hire someone, they go to like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the thing. Your profile, they will most likely they will review your profile before they want to hire you, right? So when you are writing your LinkedIn, you want to add a picture and professional looking picture. So I see a lot of people doesn't have any picture. So if you don't have any picture in LinkedIn, it's really hard for the recruiter to know you are a real person or not. Because I see a lot of the things last 6 months happening that actually people want to interview for other people, right? They use some sort of video filtering. They use like hire other people for the interview, right? So if you are not, so if you are a real person, if you want to get the job, you need to have a picture and it needs to be professional looking. Look into the connection. So if you want to get interview with top tech companies, if your recruiters is in your network, it's a good chance actually you are the first person they will talk to. So if you find a position you want to apply for Amazon, right? And then you find out who is the recruiter posting that position, right? And maybe send them a connection request. And then what they do actually, recruiter typically, if they need to fill a position, they go to their LinkedIn and they search for based on a skill set. And most of the people profile pops up. And if you are in their network, most likely they will send you a message. I get a lot of messages each week, right? All the time that, oh, do you interview? I'm not looking for job. I'm not in my LinkedIn. I'm not saying that, oh, I'm looking for job or I need a job, right? But if your skills, you have enough information in your LinkedIn, you will be able to attract those recruiters or qualified those things, job openings to you. And you always want to be in a position where people reach out to you for job, not like other way around. Because when you are reaching out to the recruiter, hiring manager, asking for referral, you are one out of the 500 people. And recruiter needs to shortlist you, then they will call you, right? So you will be maybe 5 out of 100, then they will send you an email. But think about the other way. If the recruiter send you an email or LinkedIn email message for an opening, they already shortlisted you. You already outperform 98% of the people, because 98% people won't even get a call from the recruiter, right? So you need to work on this in your LinkedIn profile. When you are writing skills, try to include as much possible in the skill section. If you have 20 skills, I was talking about the resume part, that write focused skill, 5, 6, not more than that. But in the LinkedIn, you want to include all the skill necessary, right? So if you have 20 skills, add everything in your LinkedIn profile. And finally, the headline. So basically, when you comment in a job posting or recruiter reached out to you, your headline popped up. So if I go to something like my is mine. Okay, so let me get. So let me go my profile. So if you go to my profile, you see actually this is the headline part. So you want to write your headline in a way so that people understand what you are looking for, right? So maybe you are looking for data scientist position, you can write actually looking for data science role, right? Or maybe data science and the next one. And always try to write some sort of metric where actually what you are really good at. If you can't clearly tell that, most likely they wouldn't hire you. And when you comment someone's post, your name after the name, these two things popped up, these headlines. So your headline needs to be good enough so that people want to talk to you. Let's share with you a few of the things what you can do. So there are a few things you can use for the job search resources. So you can use something like free cloud generator. Let me copy this one, and then so I can show you actually how it works. So there are a lot of free resources you can use. So something like free cloud word generator. You can basically, what you can do, you can paste the job description here, and then you'll be able to see what they're looking for. So for example, I'm looking for a job like career Microsoft.com, right? Maybe I'm looking for a software engineer job. It can be data science, so it depends what you are looking for. Maybe I put it wrong word, but that's fine. So you see, okay, so maybe you're interested in these positions, right? So what do you do? Basically copy these whole things, what they are looking for, right? And then paste it to the free cloud word generator. What it does, it actually creates a cloud word. What it does, it says actually based on the boldness, you see actually all of the job posting, what they are looking for. They are looking for most of the common what they use, most of them in the Microsoft. Then next one is technical. Next one is experience, then team building, right? So you know actually how to update your resume in a way so that people get attracted to this job. That's one way to use this one. Second thing, you can use jobscan.io. So let me show you how to use that one. So you can go to JobScan, or maybe, yeah, for this position, what you can do, you can upload your resume and you can analyze the job description. And you can upload your resume here, whatever you have uploaded. You see actually with my current resume, if I want to apply for this position, my resume match is 63%. You want that resume analytics to at least more than 60%. Some people, if you applying for different job, you'll see that actually it's less than 30%. If your resume is not including enough information for this job, they will not hire you, right? So, and what does it say? It says actually, it looked into my job description and my resume. It's saying, oh, in my resume, I don't have collaboration, this word. Can I include that one? I don't have full stack because I'm looking for backend, right? But this company is looking for, or this job posting is specifically looking for full stack, right? This code review I don't have in my resume, and in my resume I don't have C, C++, C sharp, right? Which are international. I'm not looking for this job where I need to work on C++, but I have Java, right? Java and JavaScript. So if you use this job analytics, you can do so many things. In nowadays, I used to do this manually. I used to copy paste all the job description in my Google Doc, find out actually what are the match, do a file compare in Linux, right? That file compare this file and this file, my resume, figure it out. And now everything is free. It's just you have to do it, right? So people are giving you this information for free in online, and if you are not still getting a job, most likely it's your problem, not actually the recruiters or hiring managers' problem, right? And then you can use some sort of chat GPT. So even if you have large language model chat GPT, so you can just give this prompt, transform my resume, paste your resume for this target position, give the position name, and into an ATS optimized document, highlighting key skills. Most likely it will reformat your resume. But focus on, don't just send it that formatted resume. Focus on actually how you can, you need to format it correctly. So look into the output. Don't just blindly use what ChatGPT is suggesting. Let's talk about a few interesting things that is actually what is the timeline looks like. So typically, based on my experience, if you are applying for job, if you are in different level in your job search, basically what it takes. So first, obviously, how to profile preparation, right? So your profile, your resume needs to be updated. Your LinkedIn profile needs to be updated, right? So write the project proposals, write a resume, do networking, do the job search in the correct way. That's the first step. Second step, actually, you want to prepare for coding interviews. When you get to interview, then actually you need to be very prepared, heavily on the coding part. You need to fundamentals of like solving techniques, practice lead code problem, HR optimized projects, those kind of things. Then you need to also prepare for behavioral interview, like leadership principles, and then star method questions. You need to create those pages, and then finally the interview, right? So if you get multiple offers, you need to negotiate. So average, if you spend 25 to 30 hours per week, then typically it takes 6 to 12 weeks. So that's what my average timeline looks like. If I'm looking for a job, then typically it takes 6 to 12 weeks. If I don't get a job in 3 months, most likely I am doing something different which they are not looking for. So something is wrong. And this chart, I created an interesting thing. So what I'm trying to say in these things, that actually if you are, so even if you're looking for a job, there are a few different types of job. There might be a very easy job, there will be a medium quality job, there might be a perfect match of your job, and there something like you want to strive for, right? Typically with 4 to 6 weeks, you might get a job which is very easy for you, easy to live with, and you don't grow that much. You, after 6 months, most likely will get frustrated with the work. If you spend 6 to 12 weeks, you typically get a job which is little bit higher than this level, but it's like medium pay quality, but obviously it's good for to get a good salary, but not like the market salary. If you want to get into like based on your skill set, whatever skill set you currently have, and you want to match the perfect position where you have a chance to grow more, you have the right skill set, that's the right part you want to be. And typically it takes 12 to 24 weeks on the higher end. And then if you have some skill set, but you are really ambitious, you want to go for like get a job where actually you can really excel, that actually you can strive for those positions. Typically it's harder, it takes 6 months. Right now, if you're a fresh graduate, if you want to look for a job at Google, typically it will take 6 months from the start to finish, because there are a lot of things you need to prepare, right? And basically the interesting part is that I've talked about, right, that actually the salary is typically the twice of the salary of this market salary. So sometimes it's worth of your time spend 6 months and maybe get a job in this part, and then spend 6 months to get a better salary job, which actually where you can grow more, right? And yeah, for me, it took me same thing. So I didn't have any mentor. I just tried whatever I said. I did a lot of trial and error, and it took me for my first offer. It took me 5 months, and in next few weeks I got 6 more offers when I was looking for a job in 2013. And then when I get a job at Amazon, that was actually it took me almost 8 months from here to here. So typically it takes 6 to 8 months if you want to get like little bit higher quality job. That's about the workshop. So we'll do a Q&A. I will stop recording, and whoever see it online, they can ask question in the comment section. Let me